it looks like we've got about 12 people on right now. I want to make sure the audio is working, so if it is working, we'll give a couple minutes for other people to log in, but go ahead and write something in chat so I know you're there and we can get going. All right, I'm seeing chats from a couple of you guys, so that's good. Hello, Julia. So let's just kind of jump into it. We are talking about getting back into school, and I know it's been so many different emails and different things coming at us, but hopefully we're able to just give some information today. If at any time during this, if you would like to just write a question in chat, and then I'll be able to get all that information and try to answer it now. If not now, get the answers and get them back to you. I'll also have this saved on YouTube, and I'll give the link out on Class Dojo. So if you were not able to see it, or if you know somebody is not able to see it, they can watch it later. So let's just jump right into it while I'm looking here. First of all, I just would like to go over our schedule that we have. And specifically on our schedule, obviously, we have today, and then tomorrow is going to be just our last kind of normalish Wednesday. And then we're going to go into kind of a long weekend. So Thursday there will be no Zooms at all, but we are expected to kind of get our, oh, I'm sorry, I lied. There will be, at 8 a.m. we will do just attendance. So come in for like 5 or 10 minutes, we'll do attendance, and then we'll take off and get to work on our daily stuff. So teachers are going to be doing a lot of trainings and stuff for getting ready for kids to get back and all of the rules that we are going to have to follow. So that's Thursday. Friday of this week, there's no school because we're doing grades. And then Monday, there's no school because of President's Day. So that leads us to our next week. So next week, we have 2 days that are orientation days. The first orientation day is going to be on Tuesday, the 16th. And then the next one will be on Thursday, the 18th. And when we're going through those days, we've got 2 groups of students. So the first orientation day is on the 16th, and we have last names A through M. So we've got A through L. So Emily, Liam, Brandon, Anthony, Dylan, Rylan, Aaron, Lexi, Elisa, Madison, Autumn, Sue, Avery, Micah, and Jericho are all going to be coming to school on Tuesday. So we will come into school on Tuesday, and those of you that are not on that list, you will Zoom in at 8 o'clock. We'll show you some of the assignment that you're working on, and then you're going to just have by yourself work time at home, but you will come in at 8 o'clock on Zoom for attendance. And then we're going to flip that the next day of orientation, which is Thursday. So on Thursday, February 18th, Wyatt, Malachi, Jalen, Julia, Center, Aiden, Kaya, Erica, Savannah, Eli, Gianna will come in to school for orientation, and then we will have the other students Zoom in at 8 o'clock for attendance, and then they'll have assignments online. So let's go back over and look at that. So that's A through L, and then M through Z. So we'll have our normal Zoom on Wednesday and Friday as well. We're not going to have like a week's worth of assignments. It'll be a little bit different, but we'll be pretty familiar with that, and we'll do our normal times, so it won't be too confusing there. So then the next week we've got 3 days online, and then we'll start with our first day of in-person. This might be a little chaotic that day because everybody's coming at the same time, and we also are going to have 4th through 6th grade is starting their orientation that day. So it could be a little bit confusing and busy at that day. So I have a couple questions already on chat. First of all, orientation is going to be, it's like the first day of school. So you're going to come to school if it's your day. So if your last name's A through L on Tuesday, or Thursday will be M through Z. And you're going to come to school like a normal school day, and then we're going to just kind of really focus on like how we're doing everything, our transitions, but we're going to be there all of school day, but it will be at school. If it's not your day for orientation, and there is orientation, you will be doing it through Zoom, the first part, and then by yourself the rest of the day. So, some of the things I'm going to talk through, just kind of what to expect when we're getting back to school, and hopefully this all kind of makes sense. But please keep writing questions if you have any on chat. So some of our safety measures that we're going to be having here are going to be really important, that we're going to be wearing masks, and we're going to be wearing them daily every time we're on campus. So the moment you get out of the car to the moment you get in the car, that's going to be when you're wearing a mask. You can wear a reusable mask, just please make sure you're washing it. They can get kind of gross and stuff, or a disposable one. But the district has decided no gaiters or face shields are going to be allowed. So we're only going to be wearing masks, something that can cover from your nose to your chin. We're also going to be practicing social distancing. Now I know this one is really not the easiest thing for 8-year-olds to do, but we are going to be really practicing some of that distancing. So 6 feet is going to be really expected. In line, in the classroom, out on the playground, we're just going to stay distance, and we're going to do our best for that. We're going to be washing our hands regularly and sanitizing anytime we're touching new things and stuff. Also, this is a big one. I know it kind of feels weird as a teacher because I'm always like, no, please go to school. Even if you're not feeling 100%, you need to be here. That's true, but at the same time, we're trying to keep everybody safe, and we're going to try to keep ourselves from having to close down again. So if you're not feeling well, please stay home. Any symptoms of anything, please stay home. I'm not sure if everyone was aware, but my parents both had COVID, and so I was at home for 2 weeks because of that, because of the contact I've had with them. And my mom tested positive for COVID, but has had just a cough, but she's had it for like a month. But it still technically was a symptom. So even just something that simple will be important to just stay home if you're not feeling well, and if you have contact. All right, so I've got a couple questions about our daily things already, so we'll kind of jump into those. First of all, this is kind of our overview for days that we are in class. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, normally when we're in class. Our gates are only going to open at 7:45. Normally, this has been 7:15 in the past, so this is quite a bit later. 7:45, and we're asking parents to not drop off students early because there's nobody there to watch them, and we don't have any space for them. Because we are trying to socially distance 6 feet apart, we can't fit 500 kids in front of the school safely. So we need to make sure we're dropping off right at the right time. So we're going to be using gate 2. There'll be numbers on the gates, but our gate is right next to the kindergarten classrooms, right next to Mrs. Kurth's room. So that'll be the gate that we are going to be using. So we'll come through that gate in the morning, and we'll be going into our classrooms. The reason we're using specific gates is because we are checking students as they come in. We're not doing a thermometer for every student, but there is kind of a check-in to make sure students are not having any symptoms as they come into the school grounds. So the gates open at 7:45. That's when drop-off starts. School starts at 7:50. That's only 5 minutes. But we are not going to be counting any tardies until 8:15. So that's plenty of time to get everybody in and get going. But we'll hopefully be starting at 7:50. The buses are supposed to be getting to the school at 7:40, hopefully. So that can be kind of chaotic also. So I believe I have a slide for drop off as soon as we get to that. But a big thing that's going to be different is in the past, we've always had the buses drop off right in front of the office, and parent drop off and pickup has been over by the cafeteria. These are actually going to be switched just for more space for some of the students coming in. So we are actually going to be switching those. So buses are going to be dropping off by the cafeteria. Parents are going to drop off right in front of the office there. No parents are going to be allowed inside the school grounds. So we're just encouraging just to drop off in the car. Third graders should be able to handle that. I know that's a little more difficult for kindergarten. So breakfast is going to be grab and go. We're just going to have breakfast there. If they want it, they can grab it. And we will have a little bit of time in the morning to eat that in class. We will have recess. It's going to be a little bit different, but we'll go over all of those different rules. A big headache trying to figure a lot of this out was the cafeteria. So we are actually going to be ending up eating lunch in our classroom. So we're going to be eating as a cohort together instead of with all of the other grade levels in the cafeteria. And then we've got PE and music both happening in the gym. So we've got a bigger space to be able to have some of those happen. So dismissal is 2:30, and we're going to be leaving through those designated gates. Okay, so I've got a couple questions. On orientation day, I will be out there trying to make sure students know where to go. There'll also be lots of extra staff around to make sure students know where they're going. And this is kind of a unique thing this year because it feels like the first day of school, but all of our students know each other and know who else is in their class. So that'll be a helpful thing to get kids to where they're going also. So we will be going to that gate first. So we're not going to be going to the office. We'll go through that gate, and that's where we check in. So let me see. I've got a question about after school care, and I'm not 100% sure about after school care right now. I know we're talking about Kids Unlimited might be starting up again. So as soon as I have information about that, I will ask and let you know. So I have a good question here. Will the student be sent home if the school notices symptoms either at the check or throughout the day, and will class be notified? So we are actually going to have rapid COVID testing here. It's, from what I'm told, it's like a sticker or something that they lick and it changes color. I don't know if that's real or not, but that's what I was told we're going to have. Those will be here by March 1st. So students will be, we have an isolation room where if somebody has symptoms, they would be there until they can get picked up by parents. We will notify those people who have had close contact. And so a whole class probably won't be notified, but specific people will be, just those that might be been within 6 feet. And I know I would prefer the whole class, but that's the way the district has set that up. And this is a good question. Can a student get enrolled to Medford Online Academy anytime if things don't work out with in-person learning? That's a really good question. I know that we've heard that there's going to be kind of open enrollment for that, but they also had deadlines for enrollment, so I'm not 100% sure. So that will be one question that I will write down and find the answer to. Okay. And that actually, you know, before I move on, that actually brings up a great point. Before we move any forward, I just want to say, I understand that there are a lot of different emotions and stuff about us going back to school, and I appreciate questions that some of you guys are asking because it makes me feel like you're concerned about the safety of everyone, and we're just really going to be focused on that. And I promise I'm going to be doing my very best to keep everybody safe. Obviously, there might be issues and stuff with that, but I want you to feel like your child's safe also. So if there's ever anything that you're not sure about or asking questions about, please ask me, and I will try to make sure that I'm kind of on top of those things, because that's really important to me as well. So our next thing would be Wednesdays. Wednesdays we're going to be at home. So we will have Monday and Tuesday, Thursday and Friday will be normal school days, but our Wednesdays will be our normal kind of Zoom schedule. I'm hoping that we can change it to 9 o'clock. I kind of got permission for it, but I didn't get like a for sure okay. So if it would be, it'd be like 9 to 10:45. And it'd be pretty much what we've been doing before. We'll do art and stuff like that together, and they might have some by themselves assignments also. We also have the option, I know some people have been taking advantage of the Sodexo meals that they've been preparing, and they've been giving meals to go home on weekends also. We will have those available on Tuesdays to pick up for Wednesday at home meals, and on Fridays for the weekend meals. So there will be a form I will send to you guys, and you guys will be able to fill out to let people know that you'd be liking the meals. All right, so I have a couple questions about pickup and drop off, and I will get to those in just a second. Look at that, next slide. All right, so buses are now in the parking lot in front of the cafeteria, and parent drop off is going to be in the circle drive. We're going to try to stay in our car. And I know the way that we're trying to make this happen is that we'll have like a placard that you can keep on your visor and just put down, and we can see the student name. So we're going to try to make sure that kids are all spaced out, and we're just sending kids to the car. Nobody's getting out, and it's just hopefully flowing pretty smoothly. We will also have kids that are walking, taking off, and the buses lining up. So that'll be kind of where we're at on that. If you have any other questions about drop-off, please ask how that's going to go in your chat. I know that if it's parent pickup, we're going to have kind of the kids over there for that. So that hopefully we'll get to that one. Vita, you've got some good questions. I think that's my next slide. Oh my gosh, we're on it. What to bring each day. So what school supplies do they need? We need a mask, water bottle, backpack, and a fully charged Chromebook and charger cable. So pretty much we're going to be pretty mobile in our school supplies. So what you need to bring each day is going to be pretty simple. The biggest thing is to keep our Chromebooks and our charger cables. Because us being home on Wednesdays and us not being able to have the charging here at school, you're going to need to have your child bring their Chromebook to school every day and bring it home every night and charge it. Now, just as a precaution, bringing the cable with you every day will help make sure you're able to charge those and stuff. As of right now, we only had like 3 cables extra at school this morning when I was asking about it. But that also brought up a couple students that have been using their personal laptops or their parents' laptops. And I know Julia was bringing hers in, and we could not get it connected to the Wi-Fi. So what we're going to do is, if you do not have a school Chromebook, then we will make sure we get you one once we get back into class. That way we'll be able to connect to the Wi-Fi and things like that. So do not bring the personal device, but if it's a school Chromebook, please be bringing that back and forth every day. As far as that other school supplies that we're going to need, I already have pretty much everything we're going to need. We are encouraging to bring some pencils and a spiral notebook. I do have extras if we don't have those. But also we're going to need to bring our daily books that we've been doing, our daily language and daily math, as well as your Journeys textbook and your math student activity book. Those things are going to be really helpful just to keep here, so we'll keep those here as we go through. So Learning and Leadership Studio. So there are 24 students in our class, I think, after a couple of students going to Medford Online Academy. And with the space I have in our room and keeping desks 6 feet apart, I only have room for 17 students in our classroom. So that obviously is an issue when we have 24 students. So what we have is the Learning and Leadership Studio. It's a goofy name that really there was way too much discussion about what name it should be. But the Learning and Leadership Studio is going to be where we are sending a lot of students throughout the day. So it's kind of like what we had our ATI or our small groups, but instead of everybody at the same time, we're going to be doing it throughout the day. So we will be sending 7 students at a time. Will be in the small group studio, which is actually normally the music room. And they'll be working on some extra intervention stuff there. And so everybody's going to be going to that at some point throughout the day, if not maybe twice a day, because we do have to keep 17 students in here. So rotating throughout, some kids will be able to go twice and work on 2 different things, not the same thing. So most of the day, your students will be in my classroom. But because we need to keep our numbers at the correct amount, sometimes throughout the day, they will be with their classmates, but in another room, working on some intervention stuff like they normally would, just at different times. Okay. So as far as that goes, I'm almost done, and then I've got some other questions I'm sure to answer. So we have some really important survey and forms that we need to fill out so that everybody knows all the information we need. I don't know what I'm saying. So there are 4 of them, and I will send this form to everybody so that you guys can see them. The first one is the student dismissal plan, and that's just going to let us know, how are your students planning on getting home? Are they planning on riding the bus, walking, getting picked up? What's the plan there? Also, if you're using the bus, apparently you must fill out the bus service registration. If you do not get that filled out, you cannot. You need to get that filled out to get it guaranteed that you will have bus service. Because of numbers being allowed on a bus, they're having to change a lot of routes, and so that'll be very important that you are registering for the bus service. This is the meal needs for home that I had mentioned, of getting meals for Wednesdays and the weekend. And the COVID agreement form, a lot of you have already filled this out, but this is the district-wide, kind of saying these are the things that we're going to be expecting everybody to do, of social distancing, washing their hands, and when we're going through those, making sure that everyone knows what's expected and agrees to those things. So that is all that I have for right now, but let me see what we've got on our chat. So about the transfers, I'm not sure about the transferring to Medford Online Academy or even transferring back here, so I will let you know about that, Chien. And so lunchtime is going to be kind of the same as breakfast as a grab and go, but with the grab and go, it will be, I believe, maybe brought to our classroom, even if it's a hot lunch. And we're going to be eating in the classroom. So we'll eat here, and then we will go out to recess. And I am not sure, Morgan, about the bus question, but I will ask and let you know about that one. So will they have their own desk that isn't 6 feet from the other desk? So I only have 17 desks, so desks will actually be probably changed back and forth. So that's why we're asking to bring so little things, because we're actually going to keep our stuff in our backpack. And I also have cubbies that we're going to keep some materials in, but we will not be keeping anything in our desks. And when we change desks, so say that your child is going to the Leadership and Learning Studio, then as they leave, we will sanitize the desk and chair before another student comes to sit in that desk and chair. So that's why we're not going to keep anything personal at those desks. And then when your student comes back in the classroom, it'll probably be a different desk that your student's sitting at, but it'll be sanitized before they sit down there also. And yes, all the desks are 6 feet apart. And so if your things are changing, I would just fill out the form for the pickup or buses. I have a question that says, like, if that's going to change when after school care stuff, that's totally fine. What I would say is fill it out for what would happen if it was tomorrow, and then if we have to change it, we can change it, and that'd be easier. And then I can get you guys our daily schedule, but I believe lunch was around 11, but I would have to look it up and double check on that one. Okay, so recess will be outside. It will be, we're trying to encourage social distancing, so there's going to be sections that students are allowed at different times. I don't know the specific recess rules right now. I've not had any COVID recess yet, so but we are going to have very specific during orientation, all the rules and expectations for recess and how we're going to be following those. And will all the students go out together? So I'm imagining that we're going to kind of dismiss out. It'll be a little bit different because we'll probably hold back some of the bus kids and get them to where they're supposed to be, and the walking kids and stuff like that. But yes, all the kids will be dismissed together. So Morgan, we are going to be leaving the books and stuff here. The only thing that they're going to really be taking back and forth would be a water bottle and their Chromebook. And yes, the playground is supposed to be sanitized every day, I believe, but not in between recesses. So Mrs. Higgins is saying that third grade will be outside in our own cohort for recess in a designated area. So the way I kind of explained it to the students today would be maybe today you're allowed to be on the play structure, but the next recess you're not going to be allowed on the play structure because another group is going to be allowed to be on that side. So we're going to have it kind of spaced out like that. So they'll still get to do everything they like to do on recess, but maybe not every single recess. So I'm kind of looking through chat and stuff here, but it looks like we've got quite a bit of people that have been able to get everything they were looking for. So if you have any other questions, please write me on chat. Sorry, not on chat, on Google Class Dojo, and we will be able to go over all of those answers. I'm going to save this chat and going to re-look through all of those, and I'm pretty sure I know who everyone is that has asked questions, except for MJMRGN9797. I'm not sure who that is, but I'll be able to answer your questions through Class Dojo for everyone else there. So if you guys don't have anything else to ask in chat, please. Ooh, good question. Homework. I have no idea. We won't have homework in February. I can tell you that. And we'll get kind of focused on what homework looks like after that. And yes, we will have some social distancing in the lines as we're going through. All right, Julia, I got it. Okay, so if there's any questions or anything, please write in chat. But other than that, thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great night, and I will see all of your kids tomorrow at 8 a.m. So have a good night and stay safe.